Welcome everybody, Don Giannetti, lightingessentials.com, and we're here to look at some images. I call this behind the image, and we're looking at work that the Project 52 students have done for some of the Project 52 assignments. So this assignment was texture and kind of a personal approach to something, and as you can see here from Ann Stevenson's lovely photograph, we have great highlights on the edges of the bowls that pull them off the back. Shadows coming forward is always nice, and we get all this good burlap texture coming through here. It's just really a nice photograph. Compositionally, we lead with the white against the dark, so it's the lightest and the darkest right in the center, and the two sides sort of complement that almost monochromatic centerpiece there. This is how she did it. We have a large diffusion panel from a 5-in-1 here on the light stand. There's the grains. Nikon 50mm, a 400 watt second strobe coming through the diffusion panel, and then she had a little bit too much light coming back into the back of this, so she has a little black card in front of the panel down at the front to keep the light from coming all the way into here and being too bright. So really nice control of the light here. Ann Stevenson, lovely shot. We have a second shot by Ann Stevenson. This was for a project in Project 52 where they had to shoot to layout. The page was furnished, and so was this sort of difficult green color. I created this layout to give the photographers a view into what it's like to shoot for layout, and I made it tougher for them with this green color here. You know, you can always be prepared for the easy stuff. It's the hard stuff that we have to work at to become good at, and by adding this very I don't like this green at all. By adding this to the mix, it made the shots even harder. They had to do a vertical, a horizontal, and a square. And we call this as an advertorial. So it's sort of like out of a magazine. It's half advertising, half editorial, and it's an ad actually that's made to look like an editorial. But you have the product, and it has to be shot vertically, horizontally, and square to fit this design layout, and of course make it work within this color green. So it's a very difficult challenge, but Ann met it very well, had it straight on, and did a lovely job with it. You can see this nice light from the back, beautiful highlights on the side. We're seeing a reflection in the tea from the tea cup here. We have great light on the sides of this product up here, and the same down here with a real feeling of warmth and light. How did she do it? Well, she did it this way. Softbox up here and a softbox behind the curtain. And the whole idea of the behind the curtain, you can see it's a dark curtain, but you can see what happened when she lit it from behind. It became a much more vibrant, bright pink. The softbox is lighting the set, the main set, and again we can see the shadow from the side softbox being filled a little bit by the light from the back softbox. White card to the side, white card up front, just to give a little edge to this bottle right there. You can see the bottle, you get the edge right in here. That's what it's for, and really nicely done, and very nicely done. Oh my gosh, we have another one from Ann. This is the Ann Stevenson show. Sorry, I didn't plan it. I just chose some shots. So Ann shot donuts here, shooting straight down. Very graphic. We got lots and lots of good composition in here. Just keeps leading our eye back to these donuts, the half-eaten donut and the sprinkles. Nice touch. Really nicely done, and you can see the beautiful color choices throughout. So Ann is not only composing with the props, but she's composing with color. You can see that the yellows and the yellows and the yellows and the pinks and the teals all have a nice feel to them. She lit it kind of beautifully with this light from the back. 400 watt strobe right back here. You can see it sitting down on the surface just to sweep forward, and then one above the top to put the light down from the top. So what does that do? It gives us beautiful highlights on the donuts here, and it gives us light, creating our shadows to the front and dimension to the photograph. Very cool. Don Gardner checked in with a portrait, a sort of steampunk portrait, and didn't have very good light that day, so she brought her own. And she's using a B2 with a 36-inch softbox upon camera left, and then sunlight coming in the alley this way for all this edge lighting that you see on the young lady right here. So it's a nice use of sun as a backlight, side light, and a strobe to light the model up right here, keeping that softbox close enough that we're getting beautiful highlights on these. You can see the highlights on these little gold buttons and baubles and things that are on the side of the jacket and the bustier, plus the bustier itself. Great light reflecting back from that 36-inch softbox. Such a clean looking light in here. Eric Weaver chose coffee, and a nicely done coffee shot. We've got bubbles in here. We got bubbles in here. It looks very fresh. Looks like it was just poured. That's the idea. Great highlights down the side of all of these units, really giving them dimension. We talked in the critique about maybe bringing this coffee cup up a little bit here with the card and not losing this gold right in here, this bronze, I mean, right in here. But I think he did a very nice job with it. And here's how it was lit. I think a white card right here could have opened up that area there, give us a little bit more light on this glass, give dimension back to the glass where we're kind of losing it. But overall, a very nice shot. A very nice shot. That's Eric Weaver's picture. Gloria McDonald, back to the Perfume ad. Gloria McDonald changed the color of the background and went with this all pink approach. She did a beautiful job with a hero shot, surrounded by flowers to give us sort of an idea of what it smells like, and then packaging right in here. So I thought she did a very nice job with this, and a lovely photograph all the way around. Great highlights. Can you see the highlights on the spritzer in there? See the highlights on the glass? Really pops out. Maybe could have used a little more contrast right in here to pull out these letters in post-processing, just to make them pop a little bit more, but I think we're pretty good here. It's a pretty nice shot. We just need to perfect that label, and shooting labels is so darn hard. Gloria's setup, an octabox, big white cards in front, and she shot through the the little opening there. So very nice. And you can see how pretty that light is on the Perfume. Irina, this was a shot. She didn't submit a behind the scenes shot. This is all natural light. I like this picture a lot. I like the feeling of it. The model designer is facing away from the sea instead of towards the sea. She's throwing up this newspaper in front of her eyes, and then these sharp, jagged, pointy branches going off away from the direction that she's looking. I thought that made for a very, very interesting photograph by Irina Ishenko. Richard Neubeck, chopped up veggies shot, working with a Cuisinart of some sort of thingy here. I don't know what this thing does, but it's some sort of cooking device. and that's what's going on here. It's a simple shot, lots of nice bright white backgrounds. I think there's a little bit more that could be done to the shot. Maybe get a little bit better light on the knife and smooth this out in here just a little bit. But overall, pretty good attempt by Richard, and you can see his setup here. This umbrella, using the umbrella for the side highlight here, is probably not the best choice because the umbrella gets darker down at the bottom, and we want to keep that reflection pretty even in here. So umbrella looks pretty good. The speed box above, this is all done with speed lights, and very, very clean photograph, reflectors, everything. Great little shooting space that he's working with here. Good job, Richard. And our last photograph today is Rick Savage. Rick went to the dollar store, picked up a bunch of $1 containers, colorful containers, brought them back, and made this simple shot with it. The light, as you'll see here, the light's two unmodified lights coming from the back with one grid spot aiming towards the red paper, and that gives all the lighting that he needed. He wanted these bright speculars. He didn't want a smooth highlight up and down. He wanted it to be more specular and exciting and a little more modern, and this is how he achieved it. So real simple shots from our Project 52 folks, and I'm glad you came along, and let's just run back through them again. We got Rick Savage, and we've got Richard Nybook. We got fashion shot from Irina, Gloria McDonald's perfume shot, Eric Weaver's coffee shot, Don Gardner's steampunk portrait, and Stevenson's donuts, and her perfume, and her ancient natural grains. Project 52 is something we do to help photographers understand the ins and outs of photography. So jump on over to project52pro2016.com and take a look at it. We're enrolling for the spring group right now. I hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes, and have a great day.